Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare was a game that revolutionized the 3D shooter format with its endless variety of characters and chaotic gameplay. And with an unpredictable and crazy series such as Plants vs. Zombies, you can be sure as Squash has got a story that your average zombie can't understand. Yo, Squash, it was a joke, man, I'm sorry! The whole trilogy of PvZ shooter games follow Crazy Dave rivaling Dr. Zomboss in a war to either save or take over the whole world. Or at least, that's how it seems. Crazy Dave is a cannibal! Was a statement I made at my PvZ Cannibalism Theory, pinning Dave as this freakish, brain-hungry entity. And whilst I did receive some critical feedback, maybe I was a bit in over my head. Maybe my theory was too far-fetched, or even unrealistic. Or maybe, just maybe, there's a whole different story to tell. What if everything in this world was one big lie, and everyone in Suburbia was pulling a Truman Show on you? Welcome to the PvZ Simulation Theory. I know what you're thinking. Simulation theory. Seriously, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare is a video game. It's quite obviously a simulation. Quite literally a third-person shooter simulator game. And to that I say, you're correct. However, whilst both me and you know this, I believe someone else knows this too. In fact, that someone is in the game. When playing any of the Garden Warfare games, after selecting a plant or zombie of your choosing, you boot up a match of your typical front lawn rivalry, where either side, depending on the map, must capture every point set somewhere throughout the town of Suburbia, until the very end where usually the big event happens depending on the match outcome. In Walnut Hills, the zombies attempt to break into Dave's mansion, for some reason, but it's interesting to note that if the plants happen to fail in stopping the zombies, then Dave will be living on the streets, outright confirming that he lives here. Right? I mean, the game is literally telling us that this is Dave's place of residence. The self-absorbed water fountain, Garden Warfare icon shrubbery, the same car within 4 feet of each other, the greenhouse with no plants inside. Why are there no plants in Dave's greenhouse? You're telling me the man of a million plants doesn't keep a few behind in the greenhouse right outside his back door? Remember, Dave would be likely living on the streets if it wasn't for this mansion. The streets likely referring to Main Street, another map in Garden Warfare, showcasing a town center of shops, shoddy architecture, and, bandito bosse! But something you may not spot on this map while duking it out is, in the graveyard where the zombies first spawn, instead of heading straight to the town, you can turn around to see some form of large building in the background, barely in view of the player. But attempting to get a better look of this structure, that's Dave's mansion. The same overarching tower, the side building to the left, the open air porch to the right. There is no denying that this is Dave's mansion. However, it can't be. In Walnut Hills, the terrain is flat, shrubbery is everywhere. I mean, majority of the house shouldn't even be visible from this angle. Yet, here in Main Street, it shows the mansion on top of a mountain in clear view with a road leading from it straight to the graveyard. But the only connecting road in Walnut Hills completely ignores Dave's mansion and winds back down into rural Suburbia. And you're probably saying, look, this is likely just a placeholder building the developers put here to add more detail in the background. You're looking way too much into this. That is not Dave's mansion. And as much as I'd want to agree with you, there was something in the back of my head telling me I wasn't quite done. Breaking the bounds of the game, I managed to see this building in better detail. Approaching the mansion, it didn't seem like this low-quality background prop had any secrets I could visibly see. Instead, it was something I heard, getting louder and louder as I got closer. The song that's playing here is called Garden Shuffle, coincidentally the exact same theme that plays at Dave's mansion. Which, by the way, you shouldn't even be able to hear, because when the zombies even make it to Dave's mansion, the track is replaced with the intense theme Loon Skirmish for the subsequent fight. Meaning that this song can only be heard if you make it to Dave's mansion without triggering the final battle. So, if this really is supposed to be Dave's mansion, then how do you explain all of the discrepancies with the random road, or lack of surrounding plants, or even the exact same duplicated cars, or the pissing empty greenhouse? And to that, I say you can't. You can't explain it because it's not possible. Dave doesn't live here. It's all a set. It's a show. It's a whole performance act to keep you none the wiser. And now you're probably thinking, okay, he's lost it. Why would Dave be pretending to live here? You think some random out-of-place asset and a song is going to convince me that Dave is acting? Well, in that case, let's take a step back from Dave's mansion. No, I mean a real step back. You may have seen this end screen hundreds of times after playing the game for so long, but have you ever stopped to think what's actually happening here? Like, this screen showcases a map of Walnut Hills after the match concludes, marking which capture points the plants managed to defend, featuring a windmill, a whiteboard marker, and a pencil. However, what stood out to me is regardless of who wins this map, the same background is shown for the zombies winning, as if someone is just keeping track behind the scenes to keep the players of this game in check, with that someone being Crazy Dave. He is the mastermind behind all of this, one big act to keep the player engaged at home while Dave goes on with his life without you ever finding out. And this does sound pretty far-fetched, I will admit. My evidence so far is pretty lackluster. So let me give you more proof. Let's head back to Main Street. You know, the place with endless apartments and family homes for the neighbors of Suburbia. Or so it seems. Heading past the backyard objective round this corner lies a public service announcement reminding local residents, blabbity blue blah, blabbity blah blah, blibbity blabbity blue blue. Huh. It seems like the person in charge here has a very interesting way with words. At the Bushy Meadows apartment block, heading to either building's entrance reveals the residence list, including Gavin, Schmavin, Havin, Ravin, Lavin, Mavin, Garvin. Names, more names. These people are made up. No one lives here at Bushy Meadows. It's all a front. Even the intercom speaker is drawn on with a Sharpie. Dave's not even trying to hide it. I mean, have you ever stopped to notice that every map in this game has gates branded with PvZ right in the middle? Am I really supposed to believe that the plants and zombies came together to agree that they can each have one gate? No, this is ridiculous. The plants and zombies are not at war here. Hey, I just thought I'd quickly interject here. It's probably important to note that Battle for Neighbourville takes this one step further with not only having PvZ gates, but also featuring PvZ license plates on people's cars? Like, you really want me to believe that in a zombie outbreak, an actual human in Neighbourville chose to install a license plate supporting this war? Like, no, that doesn't make any sense at all. I also pointed out a few more weird things in Neighbourville, proving it's all fake in my previous theory, like how the interior of the neighbors' homes are covered up with fake 3D stands, and much more. So if you're interested, make sure to check it out. The flyers around each map shows off zombie and plant advertisements, and it's not like the zombies just beat the plants at a later date and then started advertising, because this chestnuts poster was clearly put up after this disco zombie flyer. It's obvious that people no longer exist here. The zombies literally admit that they ate their neighbors. And to top this off, Dave is literally shown to be helping them cover it up by taking all of the neighbors' clothes and shooting them off for nobody to find. But wait a minute. No, this can't be right. I've messed up here. These aren't the clothes from Eaton Neighbors. Crazy Dave was donated all of these clothes from the flyers he put up around the town. Look at these. It's laundry day. We shall fight with our britches. We can do it. Donate your pants. This is just a big misunderstanding. Crazy Dave is simply collecting the neighbors' clothes to fight back against the zombies like he always has. Since when has Dave fought against the zombies using clothes? Come to think of it, when has Dave ever fought against the zombies by not using his plants? Dave is a master gardener with 1 million plants at his disposal, yet instead of planting a few peashooters or chompers, Dave begs for help from the likes of his neighbors for their clothes. Wait, no. It's laundry day. We shall fight with our britches. We can do it. Donate your pants. Send your undies over. Dave only asked for their underwear. These are not underwear. In fact, these are full outfits. These are the clothes off the backs of the now deceased neighbors. Dave is framing his disposal of evidence as some secret plan to fight the zombies. The player will be none the wiser. He's crazy after all. Why wouldn't we believe him? Sure thing, Dave. You're just fighting the zombies with your neighbor's clothes. Good old Crazy Dave. I mean, hell, whilst all of this is happening, Zomboss is in the background building the rest of the fake set with a literal house-making machine. We see in Zomborbia that the map goes on for way longer, as if this fake map is now complete for the players to battle in, with Dave's so-called zombie defense system conveniently disappearing. Dave and Zomboss are not fighting in this world, and it's all one big cover-up to keep you second-guessing. And I can already see some of you typing, "This is just a game, PopCap wouldn't do this, blah blah blah." And I am aware that in real life, PopCap just made these games normally, and There's not some dude just running around inside the game trapped. This is strictly focused on the in-universe fictional lore of the Plants vs. Zombies games. But if I somehow still haven't convinced you, then let's move on to... Despite being the next game in the shooter trilogy, Garden Warfare 2 sees everyone continuing in this facade of a rivalry. The backyard is divided equally in two for both the plants and zombies. Convenient. And not only that, but the hub world also features a suspiciously regular looking football pitch where it appears that the plants and zombies casually play football with each other. Like, come on, dude. And you'd think with this pitch being on the plant side, Dave would have called it something like Dave's Super Soccer Ground or something silly like that. But no. Something about this sign has always confused me as a kid. Like, why is it called Hayes Holgate Football and Recreation Park? That sounds way too meta for plants and zombies to be... Wait, no. Plants and zombies weren't the first to play here. These two words were clearly graffitied over the original sign. You can see the paint from where they hit the teams from before. The plants and zombies took out the remaining people here. And if we head back to the map Frontline Flats where Dave is helping to get rid of the evidence of neighbors, the same football pitch can be seen, as if to say the plants helped to take out everyone here in Suburbia too, and snuck in a quick game of footy before the whole map had finished being built. How else can you explain this friendliness between the plants and zombies? Like, you can't make this up. Everyone in Suburbia is just living regular lives behind closed doors without a single person in sight to notice. But anyway, with being the next game in the franchise comes new maps. Most notably, Great White North. Emerging from the depths below, the zombies are launching an all-out attack on the Great White North. Well, there you go, Brando. There's proof right there that this is not one big setup. Why else would the zombies attack Dave? He didn't pay his rent. Yeah, Crazy Dave didn't pay his rent in this world, and therefore Zomboss is evicting him. Not to mention, the Great White North has a town center filled with zombie and plant stores, as well as a TV in the town's cabin revealing... It's probably just a one-off detail. So they're really about the zombies and plants getting it on, huh? But if all of this evidence proves what they're doing in Suburbia, why are they doing it? Why is Crazy Dave and the rest of the PvZ cast pretending to be at war? And to that, I point you to... Zombopolis is an overrun zombie town featuring a disco diner, train yard, and even an arcade. I wonder what games they're playing at the arcade. Probably some retitled real-world game like Call of Fruity or Planty Crush. Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. The arcade machine? Wait, you're telling me the Garden Warfare 2 cast know about Garden Warfare 1? Like that's part of their universe? Does this retcon all of my Garden Warfare evidence? What does this mean? Let me tell you what I think is going on. Obviously, we know that Dave and the gang are pretending to be at war so they can live their regular lives outside of the PvZ studios where the battles normally occur. Obviously. But what the player sees is this very obvious product placement for the first game intentionally left in to make the player spend more money. I mean, hell, more investment into PvZ leads to Crazy Dave surviving for longer. You might as well get your last few bucks out of the first game before everyone leaves to purchase the far superior sequel. And at this point, you're probably saying, yeah, maybe. I mean, it seems plausible. But this is just an arcade machine. It's not like they're playing Garden Warfare in the game. I mean, this is kind of a stretch. And yeah, I suppose this is just a parody of the actual shooter game. But then why in Zomboss's factory is there a TV displaying Garden Warfare in the zombie staff room? If they can't get real people to play it, then they might as well populate the servers themselves. And this isn't the only time we see this product placement happen. On the same map, we see a news stall featuring a poster for sticker packs that can only be targeted towards the player to spend more money. I mean, this even goes outside of the game with Battle for Neighbourville using the real-world PvZ comics to secretly promote them. These guys are desperate to stay alive in here. They will shill what they have to in order to keep living this double life. Crazy Dave is not at war with the zombies, but rather the real world shutting down his servers for good, leading to the end of their virtual lives. And at this point, I already know what you're thinking. These are just a bunch of, you know, cool little references to other PvZ stuff with no hidden connections. And I've kind of just wasted my time overthinking this whole theory. To be honest, you'd be right. If it weren't for this picture framed in Zomboss's lair thanking him for his work on Garden Warfare 1, this is no reference to Garden Warfare. They are outright confirming Zomboss helped with Garden Warfare. Zomboss helped to cover up the rivalry between the plants and zombies. Zomboss helped to hide the fact these maps we load into aren't real. And who else to hand him this award than the man standing right next to him? Crazy Dave. Does this sound crazy? Yes. Can I prove it though? Also, yes. In the plant base under Dave's house, by the way, Dave's house. Is this Dave's actual house? Maybe. It outright contradicts Dave's mansion in Walnut Hills, making him homeless. And before any of you say, oh, that was back in Garden Warfare 1, well, funnily enough, Walnut Hills was the only map to be brought back for Garden Warfare 2, outright proving that Dave could not possibly live here. But anyway, in the plant base under Dave's house lies a little book called the Almanac. Now, you might think you know where I'm going with this. I mean, have a look at some of these descriptions for the characters we see in Suburbia.
The commando pea grew up in the jungles and is the toughest pea there is. After robbing the Zomboss Express, the bandit cactus retired. Little was known about the Sun Pharaoh until her sunflower-shaped pyramid was discovered in the early 18th century.
And you're probably saying, yeah, we get it. All of these plans with such convoluted backgrounds coming to this exact point at this exact time to help Dave fight the war is just impossible. It doesn't make any sense. You're gonna say that all these plans show up to appear in fights and then go back to their home worlds until the next match calls them back. Right? Right? Oh, so close. But you see, dear viewer, that would be too easy. Now, I've been saying from the start that we need to take a step back. Who is telling us this? Like, seriously, these descriptions are referring to the plants in the third person. These aren't biographies. These were written by someone for this book. And if we know anything about the previous almanacs, I recently made a video playing Plants vs. Zombies exactly how the official guide tells me to, which, funnily enough, was written by Crazy Dave. No, this book wasn't just thrown together by some random PopCap employee. Every single plant description is constructed by this one crazed man. I mean, even in the book, he outright uses the terminology that players would use for the actual PvZ game instead of in his universe. Quick to recharge? Is that really the first interesting thing you can say about this plant? That they're quick to recharge? How can you possibly disprove that Dave knows he's in a simulation when he directly uses the word recharge instead of plant's growth or his plant inventory or whatever the in-universe parallel is? And I know in the real world, Crazy Dave didn't actually write this book, because that's impossible. But it's clear that in the lore of the PvZ world where all of this is canon, Crazy Dave is clearly telling us that he helped to write this book. This is licensed PvZ media. This is just as canon to the franchise as the games. And before we go into another rabbit hole in how this book is supposedly issued by the government, which disproves Crazy Dave is trying to eliminate all the neighbors, for being the literal government in this world with all of the power, making sure the general public stays calm, they seem to be quite informal in their methods on how to stay safe.
It is a sad fact of the zombie apocalypse. Food will be significantly blander and less spicy, but at least you're still alive. For now. Have you ever tried to eat some zombie on a cracker? It tastes horrible. Sure, his hair might look funny, but it'll be the last laugh you'll ever have when he's eating your brains. If none of this is possible, or you find yourself outside during a zombie attack, simply lie down on the ground with your fingers in your ears. This way, you can neither see nor hear the zombies. For extra safety, we recommend loudly humming the national anthem. It doesn't matter which country.
Everything the government is saying to you in this book just sounds crazy. A bit too crazy. Regardless, if Crazy Dave is proven to have written one almanac in the past, it only makes sense that this one was written by the same man. And lo and behold, taking a look at Jade Cacti's description,
formed from ancient mystical rock, the jade cactus slumber beneath the desert. Legends speak of a stoic green guardian who would return to us in a time of great need. Can she save us from Dr. Zomboss's schemes? Where exactly did she get that cool armor? Did Crazy Dave make the whole thing up? Only time will tell.
What? Okay, so not only does this confirm that Dave wrote this book, but also Crazy Dave made the whole thing up? All of these plants' backgrounds and stories fabricated. It's all lies. You're paying 75,000 coins to unlock a character, all for a regular peashooter to walk out the booth wearing a funny hat to make you think you've spent your money on a brand new plant. All of these characters are the same. I also just want to add here that the customization booth literally shows some of the characters' iconic attributes like Lorpe's sheriff hat and Camo Ranger's helmet. Furthermore, the plants and zombies' costumes are shown in the actual room, proving that they share this space when they're changing costumes. I mean, Dave isn't even subtle about it.
Every morning, the armor chomper dons his suit of armor Partycorn was deep undercover, with no time to change out of his party garb.
He's literally telling you that they all just wear costumes. Hey again, I just thought it'd also be interesting to mention that Battle for Neighbourville also outright gave up with the costume act, with there no longer being variants. Which is funny considering this very real war between plants and zombies is still going on. If these variants actually existed, I can't imagine they would just not show up to the battle in Neighbourville when Dave could use them the most. But anyway, this is all one big ploy to trick the player into thinking that this rivalry between plants and zombies has attracted every hero and villain in the ultimate battle for zombie world domination. However, the only thing any of these costume-wearing frauds are fighting for is your attention. As long as you keep playing and pumping money into this world, it gives more reason for PopCap to keep them alive. And if anyone were to be spotted not playing the game, Crazy Dave would avoid any threat of this game being considered dead or inactive by booting you from the servers. Why aren't you playing this awesome game? You should stop doing real-life stuff. Play this game instead! And if you dare do anything other than play this game, Crazy Dave will know. As by attempting to escape out of bounds in Jewel Junction, a snarky remark can be found on the back of these water silos, stating, "What are you doing?" This is a direct message to the player for trying to leave the game. The only way to save Crazy Dave's plug from being pulled is to make Garden Warfare 3. Please, PopCap, make Garden Warfare 3. Crazy Dave wants to live a little bit longer. And so that was the PvZ Simulation Theory. Thank you for watching. So, what do you think? Did I hit the nail on the head with this one? I sure hope so. If you like this format of video compared to my other ones, let me know. And if you really like this video, maybe you could check out my Patreon so I could keep making videos like this. Okay, bye now. Go check out this video that I also made. It's really good. Go watch it. Bye. Bye now. Piss off.